Western Conference action, Warriors and Timberwolves. Minnesota looking to go back to the conference final. Steph Curry hoping to get one more chance. But Anthony Edwards had other ideas. He and Julius Randle took over in this game, Jay Will.
Just absolutely dominated Golden State. And in that third quarter, they just pulled away.
Look at the range. Look at the range from Randle. From deep, and Steph Curry can only shake his head. Wolves opening up the lead. We're late in the half. Wolves are up by 12. Draymond, no. And now we're going the other way. Julius Randle was terrific last night, big fella.
I mean, he was amazing. And this is the guy who I talked about. He has a matchup situation every time he has the ball, whether you're on the perimeter in the paint. And what I love about it is he did not settle. Every time he had opportunity, he took it to him and went through their chest.
Third quarter, up 15. Ball movement. Anthony Edwards joining Kevin Garnett last night as the only Timberwolves ever with 1,000 career playoff points. This young man is clearly just getting started. And then it's Randle on the rebound. A one-man fast break, and the Wolves have a 21-point lead.
Right through Draymond Green when he got the rebound and ran him down the court.
Golden State fought back a little in that fourth quarter, but just too much.
Oh, my goodness. Late switch. You got to switch up on that guy. Led the league in threes.
22 and 12 for Ant-Man last night, and then Edwards throws it up. We mentioned the 12. That's a career playoff high in assists. Jaden McDaniels throws it down. Wolves go on. 121-110. Congratulations to them. They will get the winner of OKC and Denver with a chance to take the step they didn't take last year and make it to the NBA Finals. So we'll have time to talk about them. But as we do the postmortem on the season for the Warriors, a season that when they acquired Jimmy Butler, we saw the flashes. We saw them go 23-8 after they acquired him. We thought to ourselves, maybe they've got some magic here. And then Steph goes down. What didn't we get from them?
We didn't get one game. You didn't get one game to give Steph a chance to come back in Game 6. And also, look, all this talk about them being the best defensive team since they made that trade for Jimmy Butler. Minnesota shot 63% from the field last night. They shot 42% from the three-point line. What happened to the defense? I know Steph wasn't part of the equation on the reason why they were the greatest defense team in the league since that trade. What happened to it? In an elimination game, by the way, in an elimination game, Kuminga and Pods scored more points than Jimmy Butler. I mean, in an elimination game. For the record.
I know Jimmy very well. As great as Jimmy is as a basketball player, he preys on mistakes. He preys on your weaknesses. This is a team that just didn't show any weaknesses defensively. We got to give credit where credit's due. You got Anthony Edwards, who's athletic. You got McDaniels, who has length. And you got Rudy Gobert. Now, what I will say is, Jimmy has to figure out a way to get more shots up to help his team. He has to be more aggressive. This is what he has to do. But we see the difference, and I love Jimmy Butler. There's a difference between, I think the Jimmy Buckets thing has put him in a situation where you want to have the conversation with LeBron James and these different guys. There is a difference. There is a difference between those guys. I've seen defense against those guys, and it didn't matter what kind of defense you played. They still got buckets.
He took 11 shots last night. He had taken 9 in the game before. Again, this is where you're asking him, look, is it unreasonable for me to say, if you're going to pay a guy, what are they about to pay him?
It's 120 over 2 years.
Okay, so you're going to pay a man $60 million. That he doesn't, when the other superstar is gone, if you're a superstar, and we can put that word next to Jimmy Butler's name, right? He's a superstar in the NBA, that he doesn't have one game without the other guy where he goes for 37 and carries you to a win. Is that an unreasonable thing to ask for?
I do not think it is unreasonable. I do think it is unwise. Swap Jimmy Butler for Stephen Curry. You have the same team you had February prior to the trade deadline. And I don't
Steph would have taken more than 11 shots.
Exactly. And I don't think any of us would swap out Stephen Curry for Jimmy Butler if you were given the opportunity. And so I think you had to sit back, look at this roster, and remember, oh, wait, this was a supporting cast that could not find consistent.
But what I'm saying, we were asking them to win one game and give Steph a chance to come back.
I don't think it's unreasonable, but all I'm saying is the practicality of it all in the playoffs, and not just a regular season game. I think if you're asking Jimmy to win you a regular season game, that's a little bit of a different story. Against a vaunted defense? That's the other part we're forgetting about.
I'm waiting for playoff Jimmy. This is all I've ever heard about is playoff Jimmy, playoff Jimmy. Playoff Jimmy going to Golden State is going to be a difference maker. But he said, I'm Robin. I'm not Batman. So when he was asked to be Batman, he couldn't. But if he didn't want to, one or the other. But that's all you're talking about is playoff Jimmy. It's his reputation preceded him when he went to Golden State. And when it was time for him to put the cape on, he couldn't do it. He stayed Robin. And Robin, in every episode, is the one causing trouble. He needs to be rescued by Batman. It didn't happen.
I'm not here for the Robin slander, but go ahead.
If you look at Jimmy's numbers and you look at when we had Denver in the finals and he had to go against Aaron Gordon, it was the same thing. There's size, there's length, there's athleticism. This is what Jimmy struggles against. No fault of his own. That's just not what he plays well against. So, yes, he tried his best, but damn it, he reached his ceiling in that series. That was the best he could do.
Yeah.
That's nothing. I'm not sitting here saying Jimmy didn't try, because I know Jimmy has heart and Jimmy will try.
100%.
But that is not a team that Jimmy is going to be Jimmy buckets again.
And this is a fair conversation, y'all. But I do think the piece of it that we're not talking about is this is a top 10 defense in the league.
Yes.
They were number 1 last year.
And Jimmy Butler don't shoot threes like Steph, so if he get in the paint, he got Rudy Gobert down there.
I hear all that about them being great defensively, but I also hear a lot of people talk about how brilliant Jimmy Buckets is as it relates to a player on the court. And if you're brilliant, you can find more strategy and tactical ways to take more than 11 shots.
Is that a Steve Kerr thing?
Well, don't get me started on Steve Kerr.
I'm just asking.
I'm just asking. The whole Kuminga thing is a different thing now.
It's very weird.
Because he was balling. He's the best player on the court. Don't know why he wasn't playing more.
Oh, by the way, Anthony Edwards, Julius Randle, and company are on their way to the conference final.
Yes.
For Edwards, it's the second consecutive year. Obviously, Randle wasn't there a year ago. Very quickly, they will play OKC or Denver. Who will you favor? Will you favor Minnesota in that series?
Are you going to put OKC in there? They don't close out tonight?
I like Minnesota.
I really like where they are right now.
Me
It's
too.
very similar to Indiana, where in the second half of the season, Minnesota had a rough start. They had new pieces, but boy, have they been really good. And they've found themselves defensively like they were number 1 last year, second half of the season. Those are two teams that are hot right now in the playoffs, and you should not count out either one of them in the NBA Finals.
I've been on the OKC